Psalm 89 opens with Ethan the Ezrahite, and the shift from Heman's darkness could not be sharper. Where Psalm 88 ends on the word darkness with no resolution, Psalm 89 begins with mercy and faithfulness sung aloud. Placed side by side in the Psalter, these two psalms show Scripture holds both realities without forcing one to cancel the other. A believer can sit in Heman's silence and still stand in Ethan's song, sometimes within the same week, sometimes within the same hour. I will sing of the mercies of the Lord forever. With my mouth will I make known thy faithfulness to all generations. Psalm 89, verse 1. Ethan commits to a lifetime of singing, not a single burst of gratitude tied to one answered prayer. He names two things worth singing about: mercy and faithfulness. These are not passing moods in God. They are settled facts about his character, and Ethan intends his mouth to broadcast them beyond his own generation. This verse sets the tone for the entire psalm as a hymn built on God's covenant loyalty rather than on present circumstances. For I have said, mercy shall be built up forever. Thy faithfulness shalt thou establish in the very heavens. Psalm 89, verse 2. Ethan uses building language. Mercy gets built up, like a structure raised course by course. Faithfulness gets established, fixed in place like the heavens themselves, which ancient Israel understood as the most stable, unshakable realm in creation. Ethan is not describing a temporary kindness. He is describing an architecture of God's own making, one that will not collapse, regardless of what happens on earth below it. I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David my servant. Psalm 89, verse 3. Here, God speaks in the first person, quoted by Ethan. The mercy and faithfulness of the first two verses are not abstract virtues floating in the air. They are anchored to a specific historical event: God's covenant with David. My chosen and David my servant identify the person and the relationship. God swore this covenant. He did not suggest it or hint at it. An oath from God carries the full weight of his unchangeable nature. As Hebrews 6 verses 13 to 18 later confirms regarding God's promises to Abraham. Thy seed will I establish forever, and build up thy throne to all generations. Selah. Psalm 89, verse 4. God promises David an enduring seed and a throne built up across all generations. This is the Davidic covenant recorded in 2 Samuel 7, verses 12 to 16, where God tells David that his house, kingdom, and throne will be established forever. Evangelicals read this promise as finding its ultimate fulfillment not in Solomon or any subsequent earthly king, but in Jesus Christ, the Son of David. His kingdom is described in Luke 1 verses 32 to 33 as having no end. The Selah marks a pause, inviting the reader to sit with the weight of this promise before the psalm continues. These 4 verses lay the foundation for everything that follows in Psalm 89, including the crisis of faith Ethan will voice later when the Davidic line appears defeated and the covenant seems broken. But the psalm does not begin with doubt. It begins with mercy built up forever and a throne established for all generations. It gives the reader solid ground to stand on before the storm arrives.